If you go down to the woods today, you'd be sure of a big surprise. We're in Woods Mill and the ground is covered in bluebells. Coming up this week, we have grasshoppers with a difference in Horsham, a tiny lifesaver from Crawley, May Day festivities bringing the Sussex summer, and a Star Trek legend campaigning in Crawley. But can he help Labour make it so? But first, a Sussex man is going to be the first person to attempt to run more than 1,000 miles across Kenya. Chris Howarth, who's 27 and from Eastbourne, will cover 30 miles a day from the west to east across the African country. He'll face mountains, desert, plus 12 major towns and cities as he takes on the Extreme Endurance Challenge.
So the idea of my challenge is to experience a running journey of trying to cover 1,100 miles, whilst also trying to understand the journeys that street children take in their lives and the experiences they go through. I'm just slowly building up the miles that I run each week, and obviously with something like this you can never fully prepare yourself for running that distance, but you just try and get your body in as good a shape as possible, and then when you get out there it's not just physical, it's also mental.
A 9-year-old hero has saved the life of a woman who was having a stroke. Tiny lifesaver Stacey Baldwin raised the alarm when Mary from Langley Green began to look unwell. Stacey even administered first aid with her mum until ambulance crews arrived. Well, for some people, lawn mowing is a back-breaking activity that, quite frankly, gets in the way of sunbathing with a glass of Pimm's. Well, now there's an alternative, and not only is it practical, but it's also very cute. Mary Davies from Leonardsey Gardens explains how her wallabies keep her garden tidy.
They're excellent lawn mowers. No overtime, they work in the rain, they work in the sunshine, it's brilliant. They just get on and do. A lot of people who've got, I suppose, a fairly biggish garden who'd like something different instead of a normal lawnmower, they come along and they say, oh, I'd like a wallaby. They have to have it nicely fenced, quite securely fenced, and they have a couple of wallabies and they mow the lawn for them.
There was chaos during rush hour this week in Horsham as a man climbed onto the signal gantry at the train station. Passengers faced long journeys home as trains were cancelled and police cordoned off the scene. The man, who was in his 60s, was detained and lifted down with a crane. In Crawley, Trekkie fans were in for a surprise as Patrick Stewart, a legend of the stage and screen, campaigned for Labour. Fans rushed to have their picture taken with the star this week. The Sussex summer is finally here and it's time for some of those traditional festivals to begin. In Lewes there was a spectacular Garland Day which proved a blooming success on Bank Holiday Monday, whilst in Hastings it was time to get your bogies out. More than 20,000 people packed the streets for the town's Jack in the Green May Day celebrations. Green-clad bogies led a huge garland, or Jack, through the town, ending up at Hastings Castle, where Jack was slain and his leaves distributed to the crowds. But it's not a sad occasion, as this is said to unleash the spirit of summer. If you're looking for ways to bring that spirit of summer alive, then why not go and see the giant sculptures of hippos and mushrooms at Board Hill Gardens. Board Hill Gardens is open daily from 10 AM to 6 PM. The latest exhibition is one of the most popular visitor events on the garden's summer calendar. And now I'm joined by Mike Russell, who's head of People and Wildlife at the Sussex Wildlife Trust. So tell us a bit about what you do here, Mike.
Well, the Sussex Wildlife Trust is an organisation based in Sussex. It's a charity, has 32,000 members, and really we're here to help people enjoy, understand and take action to conserve the wildlife in Sussex.
And I understand that the bluebell is quite important to you.
Yeah, in the UK in particular we've got about up to 50% we think of the world's population of this particular species of bluebell. So the UK is very important, and Sussex in particular still has a number of bluebell woods. It is has the best woodlands in the whole of the UK, and bluebells associated woodlands, so they are very important to the UK and to Sussex in particular.
Wow, so we actually have half of the whole world's population of bluebells just in the UK.
We do indeed,
Yeah, that's amazing. I don't think many people would know that. So apparently the bluebell's under threat of some form. What's going on there?
Well, I think there's a number of things that potentially threaten it. One of them has been, in the past, has been digging up. So it's actually illegal to dig up bluebells now. It's protected under Wildlife and Countryside Act. There is potential of climate change in that, if the temperature warms up, then bluebells may well have problems coping with changes in temperature.
Okay.
But one of the other significant changes is something we're looking at. It has a cousin. It's called the Spanish bluebell, which looks very similar, but its distribution is confined to the Mediterranean area, as the name suggests. But what has happened is garden centres and people have been importing them, they're planting them out, and they are aggressive, so they may sort of escape from the confines of gardens or where they've been planted out and are starting to move into woodlands. So this is one of the main threats that our bluebells have.
So what can we do to help preserve the bluebells then?
Well, I think the best thing to do is, if you're looking for bluebells for your garden, find out where that they came from, because it's important to actually look for local stock, or where they come from locally and have been produced locally. And I think if they can't assure you that they are local, then don't take them. So I think that's very important. But and I think the other thing is just go out and enjoy them.
When's the best time to enjoy the bluebells?
Well, I think you've got the next 2 weeks. It's a little bit late this year, but the next 2 weeks are going to be looking brilliant. So just get out. There's lots of places to go in Sussex, lots of really good bluebell woodlands, and it's a great county, and it's one of the great sights to see in our English woodlands.
Well, thank you for all your hard work in preserving them for the rest of us to enjoy. Mike, would you be kind enough to say goodbye?
Well, thank you for coming to Woodsmill, and thank you for watching Sussex Online TV.
Sussex Newspapers, keeping Sussex informed for over 130 years.